Hello and thank you for coming to this presentation today. We are Smart Sports and I'm hoping that within 10 minutes or so you will be grateful for the opportunity that you came. We are intending to, well, as it says in big letters on the screen there, we're intending to unveil the future of wearable sports technology. Quite a big deal. I'll very quickly just run through the order of events and then without further ado I'll introduce you to the product. Not too soon, I've got to keep you waiting a little bit. So first, the way we intend to pitch this is show you the product. We'll do that in the form of a value map. Thereafter we will show you our customer persona. This is essentially our target market but an embodiment of it. Then we will go on to a value proposition canvas which really marries the two of them up and shows you how we create value for the customer. We've also got a business model to show you which incorporates our entire business activities, shows you how we do it. We will then go on to highlight some of the business model patterns we're using. There's a few, we'll highlight the primary one and then we'll show you some of the others that we have a slight engagement with. I'll highlight some of the types of innovation and how we're using them. And probably a big one that most new startups and innovations struggle with is how they cross the chasm. We believe we've unlocked the formula to do that. We think we've got the product to do that, and I'll demonstrate how. And lastly, I'll go on to some future thinking. This is really showing you various scenarios that we might face and how we intend to combat those. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to the product. Is Smart Cells. So what are Smart Cells? Well, this is a value map. It's essentially showing you the products and services that we've got to offer. These are here. We've got our game creators just here and some pain relievers. You see there's some pretty big ticket stuff down either side. That's really pulling out the key elements of the product. We wanted to highlight those. So what is Smart Cells? Smart Cells, well, it's essentially a top of the range running shoe. It's affordable, it's a low entry level cost, and the way it's low entry level is it's done on a subscription service. It's also an app which allows you to network with friends and compete in scores and how you at times for running, etc. But in all of that's already available in smart technology, but one key difference is it's self-charging. So you never have to worry about carrying cables. Now I don't know about yourselves, if I'm going on holiday, I often forget my charging cable. It's a big problem. But even if I do remember it, then I often forget it on the way back. Well, with these, there's no charging cable. No cable, no problem. Lastly, they're very stylish and as I say, they're top of the range. And we believe it's the next networking phenomenon. We truly believe that. So this is our customer persona, and this is basically highlighting our target market. We've got Kai, he's in between Generation X and Generation Z. Young guy, single, he's got some pretty big fears and frustrations, and he's got some pretty big opportunities and hopes. I appreciate that the writing on this slide and the previous one might be small, so don't fret because we will be sending the slide pack out afterwards so that you can read it at your leisure. We'll also, you'll have some supporting documents which I'm taking note from as we speak. So essentially we're looking for that younger market, people that like to socialise and keep fit. You'll notice he's also got a keen interest on the environment, which I failed to mention earlier, is that the Smart Cells is a totally eco-friendly process in manufacturing. We also recycle our own core, so save quite a bit of money that way as well. So we got the value proposition canvas, which basically puts our product against what the customer wants and shows you how we create value. So you'll see that some of the pain relievers we got help to relieve some of the pains that the customer might have, but the gain creators matching up with the gains the customer wants, and the products and services in itself helps to tick off a lot of those customer jobs that you can see there. So you can quickly see how we create value for the customer. This is our business model. Although it's quite similar to some of our competitors, there are some key differences, and the key differences are that we are totally informal. We have no retail shops, everything's done online, and the reason we've done that is because we believe the customer segments the people we're targeting, they are predominantly younger people, and the evidence suggests that they more and more like to transverse online. So we are totally online and informal. We've been through our customer segments value proposition, and we've done our customer relationship channels. That's really the front end. So if we go over here, you'll see we've got the key activities, the key resources, and the key partners. And there's a keyword in all that, and that's key. Everything we do here is essential to the business. And lastly, we've got the cost structure and the revenue streams. And basically what we're aiming to do, and we think we've got the formula to do it, is to earn more than it costs us to run the business. This is our business model pattern. Predominantly we are a multi-sided business. That means we've got the business and we break it down into 3 sections. So we've got fitness tracking, quality footwear, and advertising. So they will be run independently, and each one in their own right will make and lose money. Predominantly make, I hope. We also have elements of the free, open and long tail business model pattern. Details on that will be in the supporting materials, so please have a look at that. Here we've got our validation strategies. It's not just enough to think that this product's going to work, we need to validate it. And we've done that in these ways highlighted here. So market research is all about what our target market is doing, what they want and what they hope to achieve. So we need to be talking to them to understand that. We need to study the competition for pricing, for how they communicate, how they deliver, and we need to do it better than they do. Scenarios, we'll highlight some of those at the end, but essentially we need to test the product in various different forms. Some basic maths, as I highlighted earlier, we need to earn more than we spend. Prototype testing, we don't want to give the customer a product that's half-baked. So we need to test it, and we need to rigorously test it so that by the time the product goes out, it's perfect. And lastly is a gut feeling. We absolutely need to ask ourselves if we would buy this product and whether we could see people buying it for other people even. I know I would like a pair, and I'm pretty sure that when you see what we've got, everyone will feel the same. So these are the types of innovation. Again, I won't go into too much detail because a lot of this is in the information pack. But as you can see, there's 3 main types. We've got configuration, experience, and offering. They're broken down into various categories, and we tap into everything that we've got here. And we believe we are innovative across the board. We think we can do all of this different or better than our competitors, and that's the key. That's what's going to put us to the top. So please read the information in the pack. You won't be disappointed. So crossing the chasm is a really big one, one that everybody kind of fears. If you want to get away from the innovators and the early adopters, you really want to hit the majority of the market, and we think we've got the strategy to do that in 6 steps. So we need to choose a target market. We've done that. Understand the whole product concept, and that is everything we do. We need to position the product correctly so that the target market can engage with it. Build a marketing strategy. We need to pick the most appropriate distribution channel, and lastly, decide the proper pricing. And I've covered already some of the steps in which we intend to do that. But again, more detail of this will be in the information pack provided. And lastly, we've got future thinking scenarios. So there's a few scenarios here. This end is greater risk, and that end is greater opportunity. We need to think ahead, and we need to plan for what we're going to do. We need to plan for the risks, and we need to have some scenarios, test the product and how it would perform if the tax on imports and exports went up, or there was a material shortage for production, or wage prices went up. So we need to consider all this and make sure our product will hold up well, and have some contingencies in place if we don't think it will. There's some opportunities for improvement as well. We've got demand becomes greater than production rate, and although that has its risk, it's also got its opportunity. So we need to be able to maximise that and make sure that we can get the product out to the customers if the demand does become too high. International demand, again, we need to make sure we're ready for that. And future technological advancement, we need to be ahead of the game. So R&D is key. Again, I've broken those down in the information packs provided. Make the smart choice, buy the smart souls. Thanks.